Hey, what's up, Guardians? TBL here, coming back at you on a reset day. It is Tuesday morning, a little bit before the big patch comes out, and we've got a little bit of news to talk about today. Just wanted to take a little bit of your time to talk about a news story that's pretty much just come out of a few journalistic websites concerning Destiny, the Taken King, and its future with expansions and with specialized events from the live team. The gameplay you'll be seeing here isn't anything really that special, just running through the daily mission. I think it's Blighted Coven today. Figured it would be something good to look at while I go over the news here. And you'll see I'm using the first curse, that absolutely, well, at the time of this recording, terrible exotic hand cannon that hopefully by the time you guys are seeing this video, the patch will have come out and it will be a fantastic hand cannon with all of the changes that are coming to it. But yeah, I've got this thing ready and maxed out for that update. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the news here. And this news concerns Bungie's plans with future DLC for the Taken King. Now, speaking with Eurogamer at the PlayStation Experience Expo last week, Bungie designer Derrek Carroll basically said that free events like the Sparrow Racing League, which is going to be released a little bit later today, will essentially be replacing DLC packs for Year 2 of Destiny. That's right, Bungie's apparent focus is now going to be on just presenting small live events rather than bigger expansion-style DLC, sort of like Dark Below and House of Wolves that we got last year. Derrek Carroll's exact quote was this: "With the Taken King, we're moving to a more event-based model. Things like Festival of the Lost and Sparrow Racing, which is our winter event, and then smaller events such as Iron Banner and the Trials of Osiris every weekend. Rather than doing these giant monolithic DLC packs, this way everybody who's an owner of the Taken King can enjoy these things." Now, that statement right there kind of harkens back to some of Bungie's previous statements about how they're going to handle upcoming content in the Taken King for Year 2. And they basically stated that all of the content post-Taken King launch is going to be handled by their live team. This was also reported on by a couple of gaming outlets, including Kotaku. The Kotaku report in particular suggested that this year's DLC had basically been scrapped to give more development time to Destiny 2, which is supposed to be coming out sometime next year, and that the live team was in part put in place so that they could come up with events and content for players to play until the next major release. But with this interview, I think it's essentially been confirmed that we really shouldn't expect any major styled content releases, sort of like House of Wolves or Dark Below, until Destiny 2 comes out, and that for the most part, all of the events going forward are going to be smaller events like Festival of the Lost and the Sparrow Racing League. And really, that's essentially the heart of this interview. Now, of course, a lot of players might be a bit dismayed about that because a lot of us were expecting some sort of big expansion-style content to come out, especially with some of the leaks that we had last year that turned out to be true, with Comet and then the previous predictions that the next expansion would be Vex-themed. And of course, we know part of that became the Taken King, but there was supposed to be more content coming out, and it looks like some of that might have been scrapped to give the developers a little bit more time to work on Destiny 2. And you know, in the long run, I suppose that's a good thing. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely expecting more substantial DLC to be coming out. I was expecting another expansion, or rather another big content release in the same vein of Dark Below or House of Wolves. So I'm definitely surprised and maybe a little bit bummed that we're not going to be seeing some of that content. But I will say that I have been very happy with the live team's work thus far. Festival of the Lost was really fun, the changes they've made to Iron Banner have been great, and I can't wait to try the Sparrow Racing League. And of course, I think it's important to distinguish that this doesn't mean that there's no new content coming to the game. The live team is going to be responsible for bringing more content to the game, more smaller events. It's just nothing major. It'll be smaller free content rather than bigger paid content while the main development team continues work on Destiny 2. But for me, more than anything else, I just really wanted Bungie to communicate this with us. You know, if there weren't going to be any more big-styled expansions coming out to Destiny, that's fine. Just communicate that with the player base. Bungie has for the most part stayed radio silent on this for the past few months, and expectation of a new DLC, a new expansion has just built and built and built. And then when you find out, oh, well, there's nothing really coming except smaller events, that can rub people the wrong way. If Bungie had just communicated that from the start, I think everybody would be a little bit more accepting of it. Now again, personally, I'm perfectly fine with the live team continuing its work on the game, pushing out smaller patches and smaller events for the remainder of Year 2 until Destiny 2 comes out. I think they've done a fantastic job thus far, and I think they're going to do a fantastic job in the future. But on the flip side of that, I can definitely understand that there's a fear of the game drying out content-wise. I mean, it's December 2015, and Destiny 2 is slated to release sometime around September 2016. What's going to happen to keep players playing? You know, while the smaller events are great, is it really going to be enough to keep hardcore players on the game, and will it be enough to draw in new players before the release of Destiny's sequel? Well, I guess we'll have to find out, but those are my thoughts on it. And that is the news for today, Guardians. Be sure to let me know what you think of all of this in the comment section below. Are you happy with the live team's work and excited for their upcoming stuff? Sparrow Racing League is going to go live later today, and it's going to be super fun. Or are you a little bit more disappointed that we may not be getting any more bigger style DLC? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. But alright, that's it for this one, guys. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.